Since we're going to be talking about issues of consent, I don't know if anybody's uncomfortable with sexually graphic discussions or demonstrations. You guys won't see my badge, I promise. I just want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with this discussion. If you're not, you can feel free to leave and I'll be done soon. But, okay, I've got everybody's verbal consent to go ahead. Okay, sweet. Okay. Did you just cheer? Yeah. Okay. So basically, I just want to stress the importance of having somebody's verbal consent. Whenever biologically, evolutionarily, we have developed in order to have physical reactions when we're being sexually stimulated, whether it's an assault or whether it's, something consensual. So for example, women tend to lubricate even though whether or not the action that they are receiving is consensual, and this is for evolutionary reasons to minimize injury. So whenever you have sex with anybody, whether you're gay or straight or anything in between, you want to make sure that you have verbal consent. And verbal consent doesn't have to be stodgy and be like, do I have your verbal consent to continue with this sexual action? You can make it sexy. You can be like, baby, do you want me to fuck you? Yeah, baby, yeah, please fuck me. It can be a lot hotter than that. So I just kind of wanted to come up here and point out the importance of dirty talk in establishing sexual consent. So you can make it as dirty as you want. Just make sure that you kind of like, if you are in a relationship, you can talk about what words you're comfortable with beforehand, pussy, dick, is that okay with you? Or do you want to use medical terms like, vulva? I'm going to stimulate your vulva. That all depends on the partner, so definitely make sure that you check with them. If you're in a trans relationship and you're gender fluid, you want to make sure that you let people know, that you let your partner know exactly what you want to present as in the moment. So do you want to be male or female, or if you're into S&M, do you want to be dominant or do you want to be submissive in the action? So you can definitely communicate that with what you want to say, like, yeah, baby, I'm gonna fuck you hard. Well, that's probably you being dominant. So I just wanted to point out things like that. But yeah, so another important thing is that you want to make sure that you're not, if somebody rejects you, if somebody says like, no, not right now, you want to make sure that you're not an asshole about it. And it's their right. And so it is your right to say, no, I don't want penetration yet, I don't want this yet, until you're fully ready for it. So I just want to point out my friends. So this is the vulva puppet. I don't know if anybody has heard of the vulva puppet, but they're pretty amazing. It's this little model that you can use to kind of point out the different anatomical parts. So for example, these are the outer lips, the inner lips, and the clitoral hood, the clitoris. The urethra is symbolized by a rose. It's cute. And actually, what's really great about this puppet is you can kind of see, like if I push this out, you can see a little bit of what the spongy urethral tissue is. That's actually the G-spot. So when you insert your finger, you can stimulate the G-spot in this way. So let's see. So we've got that guy, okay? Girl, or whatever. So then this is actually a Tallulah dildo from Tulip Toy Gallery, where I used to work. And what's great about this model of dildos is that most dildos actually kind of look like this. They're at a 90-degree angle, so when you actually use them in a harness, they point downwards, which is not a happy erection. And so what's great about this one is this, in a harness, this will actually point at a 45-degree angle and be a much more realistic and fulfilling erection, so it'll really hit the G-spot. But I just wanted to take time and explain a little bit about the anatomy, because I'm going to be talking about oral sex. So this area right here, this little V shape right here, is the frenulum. And this is actually one of the most sensitive parts in the male anatomy. So you want to make sure that you stimulate that. And you can do it manually or with your tongue. Then of course you don't want to forget the balls. Thank God they included the balls on this one. And then behind that is the prostate. So G-spot, prostate, they're kind of the same deal. So, and whatever you do, you want to make sure that you're safe. So let's see. But so basically why I wanted to come here today and talk about sexuality in general is because a lot of people feel really ashamed about talking about it, and especially feel ashamed talking about it with their partners. So if you don't know how to communicate exactly what you want, you're also not going to be able to communicate what you don't want. So it's really important to learn to vocalize exactly what you want. So, if somebody's doing something to you in the act that you're not really comfortable with, if they're being too harsh right away, you can kind of go like, baby, go softer, that kind of communication, which seems pretty obvious, but some people just don't, have the courage to say that. So the first thing we're going to start with is safety, and I wanted to teach everybody how to put a condom on with your mouth, because that's just hotter than than the regular way. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. You open it. So what you want to do is make sure, So what you want to do is you can make sure that when you unroll it, it goes on your thumb like this. You can put this part. So what you do is you just take it, make sure that it's unrolled the right way. Take it into your mouth. Talking with your mouth full. So rude, I know. Okay. And then what you want to do. See, so the trick is to just put on the first part with your mouth and then unroll it. So that just makes for safe sex, and it's also kind of a neat party trick. So there you go. That's and you could do it, on a penis, but it's also important to do it on a dildo if you're going to be sharing your toys. And so with regards to oral sex, a lot of people, let me get my notes out. So a lot of people really only kind of think of, using their mouth for it, and so many people don't really realize the importance of hiding your teeth. So first we're going to talk about teeth. Okay, so if you want to really think about it, you can take your finger and stick it in your mouth, like this. Okay, go ahead if you want to, okay. But if you can feel your teeth, then you would not be giving a good blowjob. The dick is really sensitive. You want to make sure that if you want to give a blowjob, you cover your teeth with your inner lips, the inner part of your lips. So what you're doing is like that. So it's almost like a suction thing that you're doing. And there are different ways that you can use your mouth to stimulate. You can kind of, slurping might even be sensual, depending on, what you want to do. But so whatever you can take, and you can use your hand and your mouth at the same time. And then I want to move on to cunnilingus. So a lot of the times, people make the mistake of doing to the vag what they've seen in porn. And so what you see in porn a lot of the times is this. And that hurts. That hurts a lot. And so, what looks good in porn is not necessarily what's going to feel good. You want to make sure that you've got the person's comfort. What you can start doing is manual stimulation first, and not necessarily direct clitoral stimulation. You want to work your way up to that, a little bit of penetration. And the important part is to keep communication with your partner the whole time. So there are different things that you can try. You can try figure eights around the clitoris. And actually, what a lot of people don't really think to do is to use their lips when they're going down on somebody. They just kind of focus on the tongue, but the lips can really be a great addition to it. So kind of like making out with the clitoris a little bit. So those are just a few tips, but the important part is really to, we're here as activists, and so the important thing is to establish, what we do want, both personally, individually, in our bedrooms, and what we don't want, what we do want and what we don't want, both in our bedrooms and in society. And I mean, it really all fits together. If you can vocalize what you want to your partner, then you can vocalize what you want in general. And so, I mean, we all want to be able to love who we want to love and learn as much about our partner as we can. And I mean, the things we don't want are rape and, you know, essentially not having our rights respected, socially and personally. So, viva la vulva.